What it is, y'all? It is your old boy Pilk, and it is clearly jam time. Let's talk about Familia Rush, because we talked about this a little bit yesterday in the news video, well, 2 days ago technically in the news video, and I think you guys kind of want to know what to do with this event. It's not a hard event by any stretch of the imagination, but it does require some specific units. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, what does each level do, okay? If you remember how Familia Rush works, basically, you've got 3 different levels of villains. First level is these little rabbit-looking things. They do physical attacks. They attack your enemies with sleep, so you need to make sure you have sleep anklets on all of your units. If you're not sure what I mean by sleep anklets, go check my equipment video. I know it's a long one, but it has everything in there that you would need to know as far as what anklets to make and how to equip them. They also attack with strength and magic debuffs, so you probably want to remove those debuffs. Good unit to just have in general, especially considering the next thing, decreases all target attack damage received. If you have the Winter Haruhime, she's a great unit for this event, because she's going to take care of all of that. She's just going to sweep all of that under the rug in no time at all. If you basically want to see that in action, I can make a whole video about that. Let me know in the comments section if you're interested in that. But yeah, Winter Haruhime would make that all disappear. She's going to be a huge asset to this team. So what should you technically be using as far as the team goes? Well, Thunder and Dark are both up, so they're not very good options. Earth and Water are both neutral. They're both 0. Fire and Wind on round 1 are down 20% and Light is down 30%. Now, it is worth noting here that physical resist is down 20% and magic resist is neutral. So, basically, a physical light team right here is going to absolutely take home the whatever analogy. I'm not good at analogies. All my analogies are not. I would get so quickly demonetized. The enemy will decrease your strength and magic, so remove debuffs or use status buffs. Or both. Why not both? They'll increase all targets' attack damage. They'll decrease all targets' attack damage received, so remove it, or use a skill to raise your all targets' attack. You're also recommended to decrease their critical rate as they use Head Slicer to raise their critical rate. So, basically, if you have Winter Haruhime, she just takes all that and it's like, gone. Be gone. Later, nerd. Really handy unit that... the best units to use here are obviously, like I said, physical lights. If you want a good team arrangement, Oji Haruhime, just so you have all the stuff she does. Winter Haruhime. And then have 2 major attackers. It's not as important on this one to drop someone like Line. Essays realistically aren't going to make a huge amount of difference. We've mathed it out, and really, even with Line in tow, I think it's the difference between getting both of your essays on turn 6 versus turn 7. It's kind of pointless. So we could talk about all that. That'd be a great video discussion point, but yeah, it's pretty much neutral on this. Now, but like I said, you do want beast killers and you do want light and physical resist down. We'll talk about beast killers towards the end of the video. That is round 1. Round 2. So basically the way the event works, if you're not familiar with this for your first time, your team will all just, it's like basically a raid boss. Your team will be trying to take out these units as quickly as they possibly can. Once the units are taken out, you're going to move on to phase 2. Bam! Familia Rush Enemy 2. Liger Fang. They do dark physical attacks. They use a skill to buff physical and guard resist. Well, Winter Haruhime probably not so much here, because you could just debuff that away. Like, you could debuff the hell out of that. Just make it work. Their resistance... And they don't have any ailments. So just use, like, the best breastplates you got. And you'll be fine. Since it is physical attack, you could also use swift armors. And it's a dark physical attack. So you even use Dark Cloak. Like, Dark Cloak would be a great thing to use here. Wind and Dark are once again up 50%. Oh, Thunder's I'm sorry. Thunder is up 20%. Dark is up 50%. I think I said that completely wrong. Wind and water are both neutral. Fire and earth are down 20%. Light is down 40%. Physical resistance is neutral. And magic resistance is actually up 10%. So once again, light physical is kind of the best thing you can do here. The enemy will buff their physical and guard resist. You are recommended to decrease their physical resistance or remove guard rate resist buff skill and earn scores at the same time. All attacks except counter rates are in dark element, so you're advised to form a party of units with dark resistance. In other words, light units. Once again, you can use the cloaks. There's a dark cloak that would protect you against that, and that would be super handy here. Super handy. I don't want to go too deep into the teams that I've built for this, because this is a somewhat of a competitive event, but trust me, if you're even remotely following this, you know what to do. Round 3, okay? Now this is single target. Everything before this has been an AoE, so you want to use physical light units that have AoE. Now we get to a single target unit, and this is where like your Anyas and well, Finn would work in the first two amazingly. Finn would be an amazing asset. The Anya would be really good here. The new Haruhime would be really good here. Barbarian does physical attacks. He uses a skill to decrease strength, magic, and critical rate of your allies. I used Winter Haruhime to get past all of that, and we hit insanely hard. I haven't quite cracked 10 mil on this one, but next time it comes up, that's definitely my goal. Use a skill with a chance to stun your ally. So in other words, you want stun anklets because you do not want to get stunned. Use a skill to buff its strength, agility, and physical resist. Once again, Winter Haruhime is a great person to remove all of that. Any resistances. Water is up 20%, dark is up 30%, earth and wind and thunder are all 0. Fire is down 20% and light is down 60 whole percent. Physical resist is down 10%, magic resist is up 20%. So once again, for all of these, you really want light physical units. The enemy buffs its strength and agility, physical resistance. Decrease its status or use a skill to remove their buffs. I mean, so there are units in the game that will remove strength, agility, and physical resistance. I just find Winter Haruhime does all of that so efficiently. Be careful when it tries to decrease your strength, magic, and critical rate. Check the status details. Once again, Winter Haruhime handles all of that in one sweeping move. It's so good. Okay? Unlike the Barbarian from the tail, this one is a beast type. So basically, you want to be using beast killers on this event. All of these units are beast killers. Now, I will tell you, that Tione right there, she increases her SA gauge 100% for each attack. Once again, though, I do maintain that that's not a very good stat. It's not the greatest thing you can do in an event like this, but it is an option. If you have her and she's MLB'd, she's not the best hitter in the history of mankind, but she'll definitely do the job. Anya! Especially for the single targets. She's amazing. I even used Katori over there. We used a combination of Katori and Anya last night. That's actually how I managed to crack 9 mil. So, there you go. Bet is another really good one. The Lone Werewolf Bet. Shido is a great unit. Darkstrive Bell, one of the recent additions. So you really want to sit down and plan out, even the new eyes over here. You want to sit down and plan out a really good team, and you want to make sure your team is full of, it has at least one beast killer to get that bonus, because I can tell you right now, we saw some unsubstantiated numbers. I mean, well, let's take them back. The other people have had bigger numbers than I've had. That's just the real talk. I won't overhype what we saw, but I was exceptionally happy. When I walk away from an event with a 9 mil, like, overall score, especially on something like Familia Rush, I feel like that's job well done. So start planning your teams out, guys. It's really, really, really simple. So basically, Winter Haruhime to remove all those debuffs, use a sleep anklet, and a light AoE attacker. You'll be good to go with Beast Killer, of course. Once again, use a light AoE physical attacker with Beast Killer. And with this one, I would use a Dark Cloak. I think Dark Cloak would probably be your best bet there as far as what equipment to use. And then finally, once again, Winter Haruhime, you'd want to use a Stun Anklet on this one and single target light physical attack. That's going to be the best possible thing. So there you go, guys. That is the event in a whole. Hopefully this gave you some kind of insight and things that you'd want to do. If you want the full list of beast killers, pause the screen. It's all right here. You can do... and if you're in the Discord, in fact, if you're not, there's a link in the description down below. Yoko, who's part of not our Familia anymore, he may or may not have left us for the first Familia that ever beat us in Familia War Games. So he's a bit of a Benedict Arnold. But he did make a spreadsheet of these, and it is available on his Google Drive. If you want to go in the Discord, it is pinned in the Danmachi information in there. So that'll help you out too. You'll be able to search all this stuff in there. It's absolutely awesome. Really, really, as much as I give him a hard time, that is a really phenomenal asset, and I appreciate the fact he made that available to all of us. So there you go, guys. That is the video. Let me know what y'all thought in the comments section down below. Good luck. Let me know what kind of scores you guys have been seeing, and I will catch you guys on the next one.